I know. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. I walked in from the office. What a beautiful sound, all of the fellowshipping and talking. I love that. I love that. It's one of the things I love about First Sunday, right, when we're all here together and eat afterwards. It's all the sound of just laughter and people talking. It's great. It's good to see you all today. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to open with a song that I wrote. I wrote this song about a month ago, something like that. I've sung it here once. It really was a spur of the moment. I've had a chance to sit with it a little more and feel a little more confident with it. I've been searching far and wide, looking for a place to hide. Then I heard that quiet sound. It said, "Be still, you're home right now." I am love, I am free, I am peace, I am me. And in the light I can see all I need lives in me. Lives in me. All the roads I used to run, yeah, they led me back to where I'm from. And every fear begins to fall when I hear that gentle call. I am love, I am free, I am peace, I am me. And in the light I can see all I need already lives in me. So let it go, let it be. There is nothing missing in me. Let it go, let it be. All I need lives in me. I am love, I am free, I am peace, I am me. In the light I can see all I need. Yes, I am love, I am free, I am peace, I am me. And in the light I can see all I need. All I need lives in me. I am love that lives lives in me, and I am peace, and that lives in me. You got it. I have convinced my wife to sing with me today, so I'm grateful.
This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me.
This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. The very word spoken to me, and I'm grateful for you. And I'm thankful for you.
This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me.
Yeah. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me, and I'm grateful for you. Yeah. And I'm thankful for you. And yes, I am. I'm grateful for you. And I'm thankful for you. Thankful for you.
I'm grateful for you.
I'm thankful for you.
So grateful for you.
Grateful for you.
I'm thankful for you.
So thankful for you.
So grateful for you.
Yes. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you for being here this morning. And thank you for but allowing me the space to sing with John. It's really a treat.
Thank you.
All right. So Wednesday evening meditation with Reiki. We do have that here in this space every week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. And I apologize, I don't know the facilitator this week, so it's a mystery. We do have someone scheduled, I just don't have it in front of me. So definitely, if you haven't attended any of our meditations, check them out here Wednesday at 6 p.m. All right, so prayer chaplain for the week is normally Miss Merle, but she's not here today, so I am also available to pray with you and for you. I am also a reverend, so if you have something on your heart or on your mind, I'd love to speak with you and hold space with you. All right, Friendship Sunday Potluck. We have this every first Sunday, for those of you who don't know, and that is typically after our 11 a.m. service. We have the 8:30 devotional and the 11 a.m. celebration. So if you would like to join us for the potluck and maybe try the 11 a.m. service, we'd love to invite you. But please bring a dish if you do. That way we have plenty of food for everyone to share. Like Reverend John said, it's a really awesome experience. This room gets completely transformed with tables. Everybody's throwing tables around and chairs are flying, and the laughter and the talks. It's amazing, guys. So it's a cool experience if you haven't done it. All right, so Father's Day is coming up. Yes, so we're going to have a Father's Day celebration. That is on that Sunday. It is during the 8:30 and 11 a.m. service. So for all of you dads, father figures, male figures, dads of fur babies, it doesn't matter who you parent to or who you father to, we're going to have a gift for you. So we'd love for you to join us. All right, so our Pride Parade booth is scheduled. That is during the Pride Parade Festival, which is Saturday, June 27th. We are completely filled up, so I'm so excited. I have a ton of people who are going to be helping to really speak on behalf of First Unity and say who we are and that we're here for the LGBTQIA plus community, that they do have a safe space here with us. So if you're going to be visiting the Pride Parade that day, come see us. We're going to be in the North Straub Park where all the booths and vendors are. And then last but not least, we have our Pride Sunday. We do this every year, and it varies from what that looks like. I believe last year we had a mini drag show included in that Pride Sunday. So Reverend Iman is planning that, and she always does a phenomenal job. So if you would love to be a part of that Sunday, make your plans to be here. That's the last Sunday of the month, so that's June 28th. And that'll be during the 8:30 and 11 a.m. service. All right, guys, I love you. Enjoy your service with Reverend John.
Well, thank you, Reverend Carrie. Look at you reverending today. She's reverending everything. I don't think that's a word, but we'll just go with it. So I wanted to put this statement out because, this is the end of May and we're going into the month of June. And so we want to make it very clear here. The First Unity, we have a statement. Actually, Gavin or Dom, either one of you guys, will you grab that newest flyer that we put in the loop, put it up on the screen for our folks who are live streaming and those who are in the room. And I'm just going to read it to you real quick. This is something that I felt to put together over the last few days. And that is that at First Unity, you belong here. At First Unity, we honor the sacred worth, the dignity, and the humanity of every person. We celebrate and affirm LGBTQIA plus individuals, not as projects to be fixed, tolerated, debated, or merely accommodated, but as full expressions of divine life, worthy of love, safety, belonging, and joy, exactly as they are. Whether you are out, questioning, transitioning, partnered, single, deconstructing, healing from religious harm, exploring spirituality for the first time, or simply looking for a place where you can exhale and be fully yourself, you are welcome here. Our core values are love, authenticity, curiosity, radical inclusion, and service to humanity. And we are committed to creating space where people of every gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation can participate openly, safely, and fully in the life of this community. Here, you do not have to hide parts of yourself. Please hear this, and this is for everyone. You do not have to hide parts of yourself to belong. You are not other here. You are celebrated here. Does that make sense to everyone? You are not other, you are celebrated here. So love is who we are. It's not just what we say, it is who we are. If you feel led to that, will you repeat that after me? Love is who I am. Not just what I say. All right, I just wanted to make sure we make that clear. There were some unclear things that kind of went around in the atmosphere, and I just wanted to make sure we made that clear in our community. I think most of you who attend here know this, that this is a safe space for all people. And we've said this before, right, that this is not a church for everybody, but it's not because we don't open the door to everybody. It's because not everybody will dig what we do. I get that. Some people like fried chicken. Some people like it baked and won't go anywhere where it's fried. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it's about a style thing. So I get that. But we are a church or a spiritual community for anyone, and not necessarily for everybody, but just simply because it might not be a fit for them. But we want everyone to know that you are welcome here, especially during this climate that we're in right now. So the frequency shift has been the series for the month of May, and this is week 5. It's a 5th Sunday, so it actually made me do extra work because most series are 4 messages, but I don't want to keep you for too long today. This is something that I felt like would tie up the loose ends for the month of May in terms of frequency shift. And essentially the title of this message, if I was going to title it, which I have, is Mind Your Own Business. Now, at first that sounds very aggressive. At first, it might sound like I'm going to get in a fight with somebody in a parking lot, but that's not what's going to happen. Really, it's just that some of us would experience a lot more inner peace. I know I would, and each one of us would. We'd experience that by this afternoon if we stopped mentally trying to manage everybody else's existence. Because most of our human exhaustion is not from life itself. It's from the stories we tell about the life that we see going on, and it's coming from trying to supervise realities that we were never designed to control. And so I wanted to share a few things with you today that I feel like are very important to tie up the loose ends around this frequency shift that we're experiencing. I don't want to any longer try to control things like people's opinions, people's healing process, their behavior, their political views, their emotional maturity. I don't want to try to manage other people's awakening timeline. Oh my God. What about this one? I don't want to manage people's Facebook posts. Oh dear God. I don't want to get into that anymore because that is such a waste of my energetic function in this life. I'm not in charge of your growth. I'm not in charge of your awakening plan. I'm not in charge of your healing timeline. That is entirely up to you. And one of the things that we run into a lot is falling off into other people's business. And the whole time our soul is saying, hey, listen, is it all right if we just go back home? Can we just go back home? So point number 1 today is to stay in your own lane. Somebody say, stay in your own lane. And so the core idea around this is that most human suffering comes from trying to manage realities we cannot control. In fact, I don't know that there's anything we can control. I used to think I was in control of my body, and then I turned 40. And it does things that sometimes I go, dude, did you really just do that? Without me, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Anybody else know what I'm talking about? You think you're in charge of you, and then it does something weird. You go, yeah, wasn't expecting that one. You know, whether that's just stepping off of a step and all of a sudden your knee decides, I'm not going to handle your weight right now. It could be anything. The point is we're not in control of anything. The Tao Te Ching says in chapter 2, the master does not control. She allows things to arise and fall. I'm going to say that again. The master does not control. She allows things to arise and fall. And let me speak to the word master before it becomes a block, a mental block. The word master here is not master and slave of anything. It's a musician being able to play without stress and strain. Does that make sense? It's a bike rider being able to ride a bike without putting a whole lot of thought into it. When you first started riding a bike, it was a challenge. Some of us don't remember that unless we helped our kids do it. And we're thinking to ourselves, why is this so hard? Because I know how to ride a bike. When we first moved here, we saw people riding bikes all over the place. I hadn't had a bike in like a bike. So I'm in the backyard because I don't want anybody to see me in there. That's really what it is to master. So when I'm talking that I'm going to know how to ride front yard, seeing back, it was like riding a bike. I got on it and just the bit about mastery, I'm talking about being able to do it without a lot of stress and strain, without really having to think about it. See this forward, and I think Douglas is pretty familiar with the work. Then you could say reality, or you could say the universe. Business in the universe. There's mine, there's yours, and you could say the source. Yeah. Because reality is what it is. It is showing up as it's showing up. Reality is the part of life that does not ask your permission. Prefer it this way, and this is no offense to Byron Katie. Byron Katie's work is fantastic. Great flow. Okay? My business, your business. God's business. Your family remains. I'm managing this life. This is why Jesus, Yeshua ben Joseph, said, the kingdom of God is within you. He was pointing out because I figured them all out. Oh, heck no. You know, if you guys are looking for perfection, y'all need to look in another direction. This is one of the reasons I don't call myself a guru, because then that's a standard I got to live up to. And I figured out that I'm really just a sincere fraud. And what I mean by that is I'm very sincere about what we're doing. You've heard me say this, but I also know I'll probably be minding somebody else's business before we leave here today. But the idea is to have this lodge in our mind somewhere so that we can start to function at a higher level of being in the world. The moment that I start thinking you should behave differently, that you should understand me, oh my God, listen, if you have a partner in this life and you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever you call them, this is so great to start exercising this. The moment I think you should behave differently, that you should be understanding me, or he should really grow up, or she should be more conscious, don't you think? Or the world should calm down immediately because I meditated this morning. I did the work, damn it. Why? Oh, did I say that out loud? I did. I've met my cussing quota for the month of May and part of June now. Anyway, I meditated this morning, and then I wake up and turn the news on, and look how crazy people are. When I'm doing that, I'm moving into another flow. I have officially left my own business. I've left my own flow, and I have begun to try to control things that are beyond my control. The nervous system knows immediately when that happens, because that's when tension occurs. That's when stress occurs. That's when anxiety starts to appear. That's when resentment starts to build up in our being. And this causes over time dis-ease. And you've all heard me say before, dis-ease, we think cancer, we think diabetes, we think heart disease. Dis-ease is just disconnection from ease. So whatever is making you uneasy is dis-easing you, or it's dissing your ease. In the 80s and 90s, y'all know what that means, right? Dissing. Don't be dissing on that. But tension starts to rise. Resentment starts to build. Exhaustion starts to settle into the body. And this is what causes us. In fact, many scientists believe now that it is oxidative stress in the cells that actually introduce a higher level of functioning of disease, causes it to form more. Right? Because all of us have cancer cells in our bodies. All of us have the propensity within our being to have various dis-ease, but it's about it being triggered in some way. And that could be from the environment that we're in. It could be from some of the food that we've been consuming. It could be from a variety of things. But my point is, I don't want to hurry it along. There's certain things that I don't want to wake up in my system. Anybody know what I mean? So because I'm trying to control the weather system of other people's souls, I end up exhausted. Number 2. Now, this was something that dropped into my view, and I can only think that this is because of my history in Bible and in theology. Not everyone that's here studied the Bible like I did. I studied it out of obligation for the first portion of my life. And then I studied it systematically because I really wanted to dig into it, because it was a big part of my identity at the time. And so that's why I went to seminary. Man, I've said cemetery so much that I trip over it, but I was not trying to be funny in that moment. I really wasn't. I was trying not to say cemetery, but I did anyway. Anyway, some of them resemble cemeteries, including headstones. But
Some's heads were just stoned by the time they got through with the theology class. But I wanted to do systematic theology and wanted to read the Bible in a more systematic way and understand the language it was translated in and all of that, because that was a part of my identity. Now, I don't care that much. I honor the Bible, but this did drop into my soul because it worked well. And that is the fruit of the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit, as St. Paul approached them, they grow naturally in a regulated soul. And I want to go through what those were. And basically the core truth around this is that the fruits of the Spirit are not religious trophies. They were kind of taught that way when I was growing up. That if you act right, you do right, you don't sin, or you sin less, that all of a sudden the fruits of the Spirit will show up. It's not about trophies. It's not God going, okay, I'm going to give you these fruits. This is about a regulated soul. So they're what naturally emerges when we stop resisting reality and we come home to the true presence. And maybe this is what Paul of the Bible was trying to communicate when he spoke about the fruits of the Spirit. Not spiritual performance. He wasn't talking about religious superiority badges being given out. He was talking about fruit, meaning something that naturally is produced when the conditions of the inner tree are right. And within you is the tree of life. Within you is that presence. And when we're grounded in it, instead of here's what I think we do a lot of times. We plant these seeds, and before noon, because of the newsreel, we dig the seeds up. Because we're constantly interrupting the possibility of growth by dysregulating the soil of our life. Does that make sense? Can you get that visual that you are a gardener to nurture the fruit that is available to us, but often interrupted because of what we're doing? See, the thing is, you don't duct tape apples to dying trees and call it transformation. Let me just tie these so I can make it look like I'm fruity, right? So I can make it look like that this tree is healthy when it's not. Fruit appears naturally when something is rooted and nourished and in alignment with the flow of life. Now here's what Paul described. Paul said, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace. Dr. David R. Hawkins, sounds just like Hawkins right now, doesn't it? He said the fruit of the Spirit of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-mastery. Now, in most translations, it says self-control. I don't like the word control, so I went and I looked it up. And the Greek word gives way to self-mastery. All right. I still didn't like that too much until I dug down on mastery. Because again, it's about the practice of my own aligned function in life. That's really all it is. So let me go through that list again. Check it out. When we're in alignment, when we're minding our own business, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, not niceness, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-mastery is what emerges naturally because the soil is being nourished. I'm looking after my garden instead of trying to look after yours. Does that make sense? Now pay attention to this for just a moment if you would. Most of those become very difficult when I am obsessively living in somebody else's business. Because control always destroys peace. Superiority will always destroy gentleness. Fear is always going to beat the heck out of patience. My constant reaction to the world will take my joy. See, when I recognize this, I start realizing minding my own business is the best business I can ever be in. And it's the only profitable business there'll ever be in your life, by the way. And anxiety will make love feel conditional. I don't want my love to be conditional. I want it to be able to move past the conditions, my perceived conditions and actual conditions. But when I return home to my own soul, when I stop trying to micromanage reality, and when I stop arguing with life every 5 minutes, something starts to grow naturally. Love becomes easier. Peace becomes possible. Patience expands instead of contracts. And gentleness returns to the nervous system. And it doesn't do that because I forced spirituality or I became some better guru, but it does that because I stopped resisting reality long enough for the deeper life within me to just simply and naturally emerge. So the fruits of the Spirit are not rewards from God that are handed out because you did good. They're what naturally grow when I finally stop abandoning myself. And maybe minding your own business is not selfishness at all. Maybe it is the sacred cultivation of my own dharma, my own life, that causes me to show up in a world full of chaos, because transformed people stop spreading chaos everywhere they go. Because the thing is, if I don't transform the chaos, I will transfer it on further. I will expand it, because what I resist not only persists, but expands and grows. All right? So when I'm minding my own business, it's not selfishness. I'm being much more kind to the rest of the world when I'm minding my own business. I don't know why this song keeps coming up in my head. Probably because I heard it way too much when I was growing up. But it was mind your own business and you won't be minding mine. Any country music fans? If you're not, no worries, because I'm not either. No offense. There's maybe some good country. But of all of the people in the world, it was Hank Williams Jr. that wrote that song. Bocephus. Mind your own business and you won't be minding mine. Something like that. Probably. Predictable. Anyway. I'm going to tell you something. If we would put those categories like in our mind, if we would let that be sealed in our mind and let it be the measurement by which we operate daily, let it become the habit of, okay, wait. That's not my business. So there's my business, there's your business, there's God's business. If we would measure that would be probably the only work we'd need to do, because it would always bring us back where? Home. And the most important space to live from is home. You can go out and visit other places, but don't forget to come home. And I think that would, if we exercise this fruit of the Spirit thing here, I think it might heal half of the internet by tomorrow afternoon. Like I think it would create a shift in the world. Number 3, the highest frequency may not be control, but it's trust. Here's the thing. The frequency shift that we're experiencing right now, if we'll allow ourselves to embody this, is ultimately a movement from control into trust. It's trusting the flow of life. It is actually trusting the universe, the source, the I am, God, whatever word you want to use. Because in week 1, we talked about coherence. We said, let's stop fighting ourselves internally. And in week 2 of this month, we talked about resonance. We said we're moving from reaction to resonance. Stop fighting life externally. And then in week 3, we talked about how to move from reactivity to responsibility. And then last week, we talked about what we repeatedly embody becomes the reality of our experience. And this is how we're shifting our frequency, just a little bit at a time. Anybody old enough to remember when satellite dishes first came out? Y'all remember those? Big old things, man. Like you have to haul them in on an 18-wheeler, I'm pretty sure, or a big dump truck or something. It's a big old honking things. And you put them out in the, sort of out in the pasture, and somebody would have to stand outside and someone inside, they would have to click this thing to turn it from the inside. Y'all remember that? You click and you'd hear it outside going ding, 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 and it's doing its thing. I mean, you had to my uncle, I'm pretty sure, had to get the power company to come and put a trench out and put a whole block in his, that breaker box thing just to even hook the thing up, right? This is the way I see this, right? When I'm talking about changing the frequency in my own life, I'm turning the dial just a little bit at a time so that I can get that picture to come in. This is resolution. I'm making a resolution, and then I'm making a commitment, right? That my own frequency, how I'm living my life, matters far more than how anybody else is living their life. And it does not mean that I don't go to the ballot box. It does not mean that I don't lift my voice when I see that people are being marginalized, and I see that even when it comes to voting, that voting registration and marginalization is happening. Once again, it doesn't mean that I don't lift my voice. It means, though, that I don't allow myself to become so overwhelmed by that I'm drawn into the vortex of hate. Does that make sense? That we do it from a place of oneness, not separation. That I'm able to see the corruption without allowing an internal eruption of hatred from me. I'm cultivating. I bring myself back home. That ultimately we're all one. It doesn't matter how you vote. We're ultimately all one. And you are just as much a part of the divine as I am. And now here we are. What happens when we finally stop carrying what was never ours to carry is that we find ourselves in the greatest weight loss plan ever. We let go of those weights that have been weighing us down. And what happens when we come back home to our own breath, to our own body, to our own sacred responsibility, is that we regulate our life and we lose the need to try to control life. Guys, let me tell you something. You could drop off the majority of your stress today by letting go of the need to control reality, control the universe. It's not ours to manage. It's a life where we stop resisting reality long enough to actually inhabit our own. Imagine never being at home. You got the mortgage, but you don't live there because you're too busy living at somebody else's house, cultivating their space. So the next time stress starts to rise, pause for a moment, and here's what I'm asking us to do. Pause for a moment and simply ask this question, not out of judgment, but out of curiosity. Whose business am I in right now? Just ask. You'll feel the tension. Your nervous system's going to feel it. Whose business am I in right now? And the question, it's going to wake you up. It won't make you become passive or indifferent, but it'll bring you back to presence. Because minding your own business does not mean you stop loving people. It means you stop trying to control them. And it means that you remember that there are three kinds of business. Somebody say three kinds of business. And which kinds are those? My business, your business, God's business. My flow, your flow, the great flow. And when I think, hey, you need to straighten up, or you should be happier, or you should heal faster, for the love of God, heal faster. Or they should understand, or they should anything. I'm not in my business. I'm in your business. Now, Reverend John, what does this have to do with boundaries? Being nice versus being kind. Minding your own business causes you to create healthy boundaries so that when others are invading your business, you're able to say, that's my business. Thank you. You take care of yours. I'll take care of mine. That's kind. Standing in your space. But if you're never at home, well, let me say it this way. If you're minding somebody else's business and I'm minding your business, who is minding my business and your business? Because I can't mind your business. I can think I can mind your business, but I can't really mind your business. I don't know the top secret stuff. I don't have the files. You do. So if I'm minding your business, you're minding someone else's business. Who is minding my business and who's really minding yours? At the end of the day, this is why we end up in a bankrupt society where we're bankrupt emotionally and even spiritually. So when I obsess over earthquakes, hurricanes, the future, death, everything that's going on out there and stuff I can't change, I'm in God's business. And I'm trying to control the universe and its natural flow. This may be why we experience more weather issues, because there's so many people injecting their fear and anxiety into the climate itself. We know what we're doing to the climate, but in many other ways, we're injecting a lot of our energetic fear right up into the climate, and it's creating this angst. I believe we're in the process of shifting that. I really do. And I think we're going to turn science on its ear when we finally reach that critical mass of conscious awakening. That we're going to heal. It's going to heal. I believe it's going to be rapid healing because we're creating a new earth in the midst of all of the chaos. I believe this completely. This is practical ways, though, that I can start to affect instead of infecting my world. And the effect of living outside of your own business is separation. It's coming out of alignment. Chiropractors will tell you the reason for pain is being out of what? Alignment. That's what they say they're here to do. Maybe this is just a spiritual chiropractic appointment. That's all. Just to bring us back into alignment. Just to bring us back into alignment. Yeah. That's the moment that we have a choice. The moment that I realize I'm not minding my business and I'm minding God's business or someone else's. That's the moment I have a choice. Somebody say I have a choice. And here's the choice. I can stay in anxiety. I can stay in stress. I can stay in separation mindedness, or I can come back home. I can come back to the breath. I can come back to this moment. I can come back to this sacred garden of my own life that I've actually been given to tend. This is my life. This is my garden. Because maybe the highest frequency is not control. Maybe it's trust. Trusting life enough. Trusting the universe enough. Trusting reality, whatever you want to call it, enough to finally arrive fully inside of my own life. There's three kinds of business in the world. Mine, yours, and God's. Here's what I'm going to commit to do to all of you. I'm not asking you to do anything. This is my commitment to you. My commitment to you is to do my best, to mind only my business. Only mine. And not mind yours. And not mind the way, the great flow. Let the great flow knows perfectly. I mean, just think about the arrogance, right? In my conditioned self. It's the Tao Te Ching says, you think you can change the universe to make it better? I do not think so. It's simple. It was just like right in the middle of one of those verses. I mean, in fact, it didn't even make sense to me in the rest of the verse. So you really think you can better the universe by your effort? I do not think so. Is really all it said. And you almost hear this sarcastic thing. You're funny. You know, it's the song, you guys remember the song Crazy? That was on radio. It played incessantly for a while. It was CeeLo Green, but there was a different name for his band at the time. I think it was a DJ in himself. CeeLo has since done his own thing. But the second verse says, and I hope that you're having the time of your life, but think twice. That's my only advice. Come on now. Who do you really think you are? And then he does this laugh. Ha, ha, ha. Bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Comes into the chorus and says, yeah, but I think you're crazy. He said, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. But hey, now you're just like me. So we're in the crazy together. The point is, though, none of us are in control of really anything. But I'm committing to you to do my best, to mind my business, not try to mind yours, and to not try to mind God's. I've been digging into my Celtic roots lately. And so I sat down with, you've heard me say before, one of my favorite quotes, and I'm pretty sure it's Krishnajita Murti, I need to look it up at some point, who said, blessed are the flexible, for they are not easily broken. And you've heard me use the terminology before, or talk about trees, and how people will say, be as strong as an oak, but now that I've lived in Florida, I want to say, be as strong as a palm. Because they'll just bend right over with the wind, because that's flexibility. Back home in Georgia, it was nothing for a pine tree to pop. I mean, big old tall palm trees, the wind comes through and they just like, we're done. Because they don't have much leaning or flexibility. And this is what I hear with me minding my own business and being flexible about the rest of the world. And so I leave you today with this blessing. And I don't know that it'll ever enter a book of Celtic blessings, but hopefully it will. And this is called the blessing of the bending tree. In closing, May you be like the ancient tree standing beside the sacred river, rooted deep in what is eternal, yet gentle enough to bend with changing winds. May the storms of life not harden your heart, nor steal the softness from your soul. When fierce winds rise, may you remember that strength is not always found in resistance, but in the holy wisdom of yielding. May your spirit sway without breaking. May your roots hold through every season. May your branches still reach for light after the longest night. And when life asks you to loosen your grip, may you trust the deeper current already carrying you home. May peace settle upon your shoulders like morning mist upon the highlands. May grace move through you like wind through the cedars. And may the great mystery remind you again and again, and here it is, that the tree which survives the storm is not the one that fights the wind, but the one that remembers how to bend. The tree that survives the storm is not the one that fights the wind, but the one that remembers how to bend. And so, friends, if we will commit to even 1% more minding our own business, our frequency will change. It really will. Our vibration will change in our life, and we'll find ourselves in more love, joy, and peace, patience, and gentleness, and kindness, and meekness. And you know what that does for you? It heals your body. It heals your mind. And it reminds you to return to oneness. And when we cultivate an attitude of oneness, we heal the divide that comes with the separation mentality. And ultimately, we are all one. Not here to escape the world, but we're here to fully engage and participate with the creating of a more equitable, loving, compassionate, generous, and unified world. That is in you. No pressure. But that's on you and for each one of us to carry as we move through our life. And this concludes the month of May, the frequency shift. Holy Presence, remind us when we step over into someone else's business to simply return home. So that maybe mind your own business doesn't sound as rude now. Maybe it's a simple reminder to return to what's true. And to be able to ask in every moment, especially when we feel tension rising, is this my business? Or is it someone else's? Is this mine to carry? Or is it someone else's? And if it in fact is not ours to carry, give us the wisdom to set it down and to return home. Because home is where the anahata, the heart, is. So deep breath in, friends. And exhale. How about one more time with a nice sigh on the exhale? Yummy, delicious, and so nutritious. All right. I love you, family. Thank you for putting up with me for this month of May, constantly reminding us to come back to that shift in our frequency. I'm so grateful for each one of you. Let's do this. Let's get prepared to do our peace song and our prayer of protection. You know what? Did I finish early today? I can't believe that. Isn't that something? I should lean into my Celtic side a little more. But let's get ready to do our peace song and our prayer of protection, and let's do it as a meditation today. And then as you're leaving, please consider sharing a financial gift with this community to keep this place financially solvent and keep us moving forward. I like to say that we are really investing in the light that currently is, and when we give, we're also seeding like a garden and seeding that light into the future. so that others who step up to the table will find plenty of nourishment for their soul. So as you leave today, please consider giving. And then there's also ways to give that are on these pamphlets that are actually in the seats. And all of the ways to give are right there. And so if you prefer to give digitally, you can do that as the service concludes. Let's stand together then and get into our circle. And we'll do our peace song and our prayer of protection. That'll be a beautiful meditation for our day today. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, look at this beautiful circle. I love it. I love you. Of course you do. Let's do our peace song together. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now there is peace on earth. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. And our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I love you, family. Thank you for being here today. Many, many blessings. Have a great week.